In today's news, House of Assembly dissolved, Premier to announce election date, Education Week 2023 officially opened, 4 COI audits outstanding for public consumption, ADAEJAH HODGE sets new BVI in U.S. national record, high school record that is, Des Moines buzzer-beating three-pointer and game-high 21 points, OVERSHADOWS loss, HLSCC to receive 121 acres of land to expand its capabilities, and Dr. Mike to be installed on the weekend as new senior pastor. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns.
There are many ways to enjoy life, like so many ways to count on popular.
Rashford made it. Manchester United have come from behind to lead.
At home or on the go, watch CCT Live. Download our app and carry your favorite TV shows, news, or live sports anywhere you go. Visit cctbvi.com/live, select your package, and tune in.
Is that my lunch? Is that my lunch?
We're like the coworker that doesn't eat your lunch.
I'm John. I'm John.
CG Insurance. Good like that.
Welcome everyone. It is Monday, March 13th, 2023. Welcome to this edition of 284 News. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands and beyond. You're watching 284 Media. Thank you so much for joining us. Beginning our newscast, the House of Assembly of the Virgin Islands has been dissolved by Governor His Excellency John Ranking following consultations with Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalio D. Wheatley. This was confirmed in a gazetted proclamation dated Friday, March 10, 2023, which confirmed the governor's order came into effect at the end of the fourth sitting of the fifth session of the House of Assembly. He said, and I quote, "I, John Ranking, CMG, Governor of the Virgin Islands, by virtue and in exercise of the powers vested in me, and in accordance with Section 84 of the Virgin Islands Constitution Order 2007, do hereby proclaim that the House of Assembly shall be dissolved on the 10th day of March 2023, the document stated. It also added, and all members of the said House of Assembly and all His Majesty's loving subjects in the Virgin Islands and all other persons whom it may concern are hereby required to take due notice thereof and to govern themselves accordingly. While the House is now dissolved, an election date remains pending from the incumbent Premier Dr. Natalio D. Wheatley. An election is to be had in the territory between the dates of March 31st, 2023 and May 10th, 2023. Continuing on, this week we join the Ministry of Education in observing Education Week 2023, a time in which the ministry places particular focus on moving forward with STEAM-based learning in the territory. Today marked the opening activities, beginning with the National Science Fair. More on this report.
On Monday, March 13th, the Ministry of Education, alongside teachers, students, and other stakeholders from across the territory, had a fitting start to Education Week 2023 with an opening ceremony and the return of the National Science Fair. There, Education Minister Honorable Sherry De Castro addressed the crowd, sharing her excitement to get the ball rolling on what promises to be an exciting week of events.
We wanted to creatively signal it by ensuring that we return, I believe, in what is almost a decade, the National Science Fair to the territory. The theme for the school year, the 2022-2023 school year, is Virgin Islands education moving full steam ahead. And STEAM, as you would have heard, stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics. The real focus of this STEAM extravaganza is really how we could reimagine education in the Virgin Islands and really look at how we can, through project-based learning, through experiential learning, really allow students the opportunity to create, to make, to innovate, and really enjoy the learning experience.
This year, Education Week is celebrated under the theme Virgin Islands Education Moving Full Steam Ahead. This is in line with the Ministry of Education's ongoing efforts to reimagine education in the territory and modernize teaching practices with a focus on fostering the development of critical thinking, creativity, innovation, and communication skills through principles of science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Honorable De Castro noted that the concept of solely traditional pen and paper learning is simply not enough, and it is time to holistically revamp and re-energize education.
We have to do a whole lot more to ensure that you have the resources and the content, and as well as the training of our educators and the infrastructural development necessary to ensure that ultimately you have a good learning environment, and the output that is given to the territory upon your graduation from our institutions is one that we truly need more than anything else, but that we meet the skills gap that we are currently seeing in the territory.
De Castro estimated that participating students brought out just under 200 projects that day and congratulated them all for bringing their ideas to life in their respective projects.
We have our amazing young people who would have done the projects. I want to congratulate all of you for coming back. I believe we have just a little under 200 projects here this morning, and they are from all our public and private schools, both secondary and primary. And I want to thank the principals for really running with the mandate of the ministry and putting forward your best foot and putting projects together that will be on display today.
Members of the public are invited to visit the National Science Fair at the Multipurpose Sports Complex in Road Town on Tuesday, 14th March from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. For 284 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
Viewers, when we return, we have more local news. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. My name is Kamal Haynes. Most of you know me from 284 News, but now you get to see me in a different light on my very own show called Health is Wealth. We have Joel Turnbull.
I don't want you to arch your back when you're pulling down.
Milton McLean.
First of all, right, your footwork.
Stephen Payne.
That was a 9 out of 10. I know you got the service down pat.
Steve Augustine.
You did a pretty hard workout today, so perhaps...
And as you can see, it's actually
you're feeling it.
Alonzo Boynes.
Taekwondo.
Adam Murrows.
I'll speak as if you're an absolute beginner.
I am an absolute beginner.
You are an absolute beginner.
And Seth Graham.
It bites.
It will bite.
Get your water, get your fruits and veggies, and experience a wealth of knowledge about getting healthy.
Yo, everything good, Dad?
Aye. This thing got me one way, Daddy.
What do you mean?
Ever since I hook up with this thing, can't eat, I can't sleep. This is the first thing I touch when I reach home.
What do you really? Hey, this ain't like you, know?
Dad, this thing got me staying home, keeping out of trouble me.
Wow. What your name is?
Shit. I talking about my CCT life.
Don't worry about missing your favorite series, sports, news, and local programming. Come to CCT today and sign up for CCT Live to access over 80 channels. CCT Live. Bring it home.
1 month free trial turn into 5. 5 months turn into, well, you know I huff. I watching ball. I been watching football. Dad, Nickelodeon, Paw Patrol. I am hooked. Hook, I tell you.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking with us. 4 of the audits ordered in the recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry report remain outstanding for public consumption ahead of the upcoming change in government that will follow the 2023 general elections. According to the most recent report from the COI Implementation Unit, the outstanding audits surround the following: all 4 COVID-19 assistance programs, all major contracts in respect to major projects in the past 3 years, all disposals of Crown land over the past 3 years, all applications for grants of residency and belonger status under the Fast Track scheme. As of the date of aforementioned report, these were among the 30 of the framework recommendations in which were in progress. The audit into the COVID-19 assistance grants programs will examine the transportation program, the MSME program, the Farmer and Fisherfolk program, and the Daycares, Schools, and Religious Organizations program. Meanwhile, the audit into major contracts will examine all projects valued over $100,000 considered by Cabinet, including those subject of contract splitting or sequential contracts over the past 3 years. The audit into disposals of Crown land will examine all disposals of Crown land over the past 3 years, whether outright, by lease, or otherwise. The fourth outstanding audit will examine all applications for and grants for residency and belongership status under the Fast Track scheme. A more in-depth look into the criteria of the remaining audits is available on our website at 284media.com. ADAEJAH HODGE did the unthinkable by breaking the U.S. high school national 200-meter record 2 times within 24 hours to be crowned the New Balance Nationals indoor champion in that respective event. Competing in the final on Sunday, HODGE, who is only 16 years old, stormed into victory in a record-breaking time of 22.33 seconds to break her previously set record of 22.77, which was set to the previous day. In addition to setting a new record, HODGE, who attends Montrevard Academy as a junior, also set a new standard in the world under-18 and under-20 women's 200-meter event. Take a look at the historic race.
And here we go in the championships, girls 200 meters. Shanti Jackson out like a bullet with ADAEJAH HODGE chasing behind. It's Shanti Jackson, but ADAEJAH HODGE is pushing through that final turn. ADAEJAH HODGE out front. Shanti Jackson just behind. It's ADAEJAH HODGE. ADAEJAH HODGE coming through from NBA for the NBA sweep of the girls 200-meter championship. What is that time? It's a new national record, 22:33 over Shanti Jackson. Looks like,
wow!
wow.
And that's why you can't call a race beforehand. Shanti Jackson got out hard, but she just didn't have it on that final turn there, and you got to give it up. Hodge ran awesome.
And that's hugs from the
Just 1 day prior, in the opening round of the New Balance Nationals indoor event, HODGE ran 22.77, a new record at the time that bettered the previously set all-time mark of 22.89 that was set just weeks prior by junior Mia Peterson of Lake Osagua in Spokane, Washington. Take a look at that race as well. Congratulations to the BVI's ADAEJAH HODGE. Of course, we will continue to keep you posted and follow her amazing journey. Continuing on sports, Des Moines Hodge's first half buzzer beating three-pointer was the main highlight during his SEC semifinal match against Alabama Crimson Tide basketball team on Saturday, despite losing 72-61. Playing for his Missouri Tigers, Hodge, despite the loss, had a game-high 26 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists in 35 minutes spent on the court. With 2 seconds left on the shot clock, Hodge chased down the Imbone's pass, corralled it, turned around in one motion, and then drained a circus shot just before the buzzer to end the first half. Take a look.
And not let Brown shake loose for a three. Now they go long to Hodge. He fires. Oh my gosh! What a shot by Des Moines Hodge! And he wins the pass. Alabama switches out, but the catch by Hodge.
Oh, he got that off with no problem.
No question on that.
No problem. The question is how much is going to be on the game clock. That is unbelievable by Des Moines Hodge, who is the most prolific three-point shooter for Missouri this year with over 80 three-point field goals.
Look at Hodge. First of all, to stay in bounds, to turn on the move.
Hodge's Missouri Tigers will now be headed into the NCAA tournament with a ranked seed above the 8 out of 9, the first time since 2012. They are set to face number 10 seed in the South region and Utah State Aggies on Thursday, March 16th. Also, congratulations to Des Moines Hodge, and we will, of course, continue to follow his journey and keep you updated. Up next, we have more local news. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
Hun, it's asking for your password.
Huh?
You were logged out. I need the password.
BR.
What's the rest?
BRANDI, the number 4 EVER?
Who's Brandy?
We're like the password that isn't your ex-girlfriend's name. CG Insurance. Good like that.
I should have changed it.
You should have.
You're right.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, you enjoy the rest of it then. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes,
Good
Sonny.
morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun to people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Listen.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching 284 News. Thank you so much for your time. Deeply concerning, those were the words used by Governor John Ranking CMG to describe a number of findings detailed in the Internal Audit Department's report on assistance grants issued between January 2019 and May 2022. He said, and I quote, "The funds were for the most part not governed by any financial rules or eligibility criteria and were hence not consistently distributed on the basis of need. All of the programs were absent of documentation objectives, and the audit highlights that individuals within the orbit of the political arena may have received preferential treatment in the awarding of assistance." His statements continued. He said the audit was conducted pursuant to recommendations, of course, B12 of the COI report, and is now available for public consumption after it was tabled and discussed within the House of Assembly in redacted form. This follows a leak of the document believed to have taken place at the level of the Cabinet of the Virgin Islands, which is now under investigation by the Cabinet Secretary. Noting some of the findings of the audit, the governor echoed, and I quote, "The audit concludes that these assistance grants programs lacked control that would promote equity, transparency, and accountabilities, and that programs were allowed to, and I quote, operate unabated at the whims of the pleasure of elected officials. Now, the operation of these programs for the most part did not serve to resolve any socioeconomic deficiencies and were largely utilized to satisfy individual wants and, again, I quote, desires." He said, "Let me assure the public that this audit is in no way criticizes those who were deserving of assistance and legitimately ask for support. Rather, the audit exposes the lack of controls and criteria which appear to have allowed the system to be abused." The statement added. Moving forward, the governor will be forwarding the report to the Attorney General's office for the Attorney General to assess whether the government should pursue recovery in any instances. He will also ask the Director of Public Prosecutions and the police to assess if any offenses were committed. In an official quote, it said it should be noted that the payments considered for this assistance grants audits are separate from the $16 million issued in COVID-19 assistance grants and are separate from funding for local district infrastructure projects. The governor expects to receive an audit on the COVID-19 assistance grants programs by the end of March, after which will have 3 months to be tabled in the House of Assembly. He said, and I quote, "I welcome the commitment to reform which was expressed in the House of Assembly. It is vital that the necessary reforms are taken forward both before and after forthcoming general elections, ensuring that public money is properly used to have a positive impact on the people who find themselves in need," he also said. And on to some very positive news. The Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull gave HLSCC its credit in his statement in the 4th sitting of the 5th session of the 4th House of Assembly. He said, and I quote, "The HLSCC Stout Community College, named in honor of one of our greatest visionaries, has granted BVI residents access to tertiary level education since 1990. Now, over the past 3 decades, the institution has experienced significant growth, expanding to offer associate's degrees in as many as 23 subject areas and 21 different professional certifications." He also added the college provides student life enrichment, a performing arts venue, Virgin Island studies, and access to master's degree programs, as well as certifications through collaboration with universities abroad. HLSCC has proven, he said, to be the ultimate start to a secure future for countless BVI landers, residents, as well as international students. He continued by saying, "I am personally very proud of the vision which has been seen to fruition in this institution, and that, for that, I must do my due diligence by giving HLSCC what is due." Minister Turnbull then mentioned that cabinet decision was made in 2019 to enable the college to expand its operations to further develop the people of the Virgin Islands through additional infrastructure development. The decision was to transfer a total of 134 acres of land to the Board of Governors of the HLSCC Stout Community College. He continued by saying, "As Minister with responsibilities for land, I wish to conclude this outstanding matter once and for all in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, Youth Affairs and Sports. We have a duty to uphold the original agreement to transfer in the interest of the development of our people, and we need to do so in the shortest order." Further stating to this, "We have entered discussions with the college to obtain ownership of the land in Virgin Gorda, and hence the ability to build a fully outfitted permanent campus. For the past 30 years, the college has rented from Virgin Gorda commercial properties such as Pickering Building and most recently Village Rose. The President and Board of Governors have put forth a vision for the college which sees the campus, Virgin Gorda campus that is, becoming a mecca for hospitality and culinary arts. The Virgin Gorda being the prime destination that is for tourism. This development would garner interest from the community for much needed growth in the relevant industries." On 26 March 2023, the Cane Garden Bay Baptist Church will transition to new leadership. Senior Pastor-elect Reverend Dr. Michael Andre Turnbull and First Lady-elect Minister Chandria Nicole Turnbull will be installed at the historical service on 26 March 2023 at 4 p.m. The transition from Senior Pastor Reverend Dr. Melvin A. Turnbull to Senior Pastor-elect has been taking place for some 7 years.
The process basically is that the senior pastor at the time would identify someone. Hopefully he would have identified that someone early. In my case, I am a reproductive leader, so I identified that one very early. In fact, it was a time I was in my study. I'll just give you a little background. I was in my study. The church had not long built a little office at the back of the old church. So, you know, that's a little while, back in the 19-something. And while there, I felt a presence. And then I felt like a hand touched me. I looked around, heard an audible voice, and indicated that Michael would be the next pastor. Now, he was that small.
Okay.
And so I heard that, and I was sure what I heard. And time went on, and a whole lot of things ensued. He, of course, grew up, went to school. His major was far away from ministry. Later on, his major changed. And when we found out what his major was changed to, which is religion, divinity, I said, God has a way of bringing things around. But he's identified, and the next step is I would take him to the board of directors, and we did, and they 100% said, yes, we approve. And then after that process, I introduced the whole idea to the ordained ministers. and they too 100% says yes.
Okay.
But of course, in a Baptist church, which is self-governing, where the power rests in the people, it's not official until they give the last word.
Understood.
And so subsequently, we had a meeting, and again, 100% said yes. That's made it official. And so the journey started as far as the transition way back about 7 years in earnest. But actually, in January of this year, or last year, was it?
Last year.
Last year, I made mention of it and made a statement, put it out there. And from that time, we've been working on the transition process.
To commemorate this memorable installation, they will be hosting a block party on the grounds of the church starting at 6:30 p.m. on Friday, March 24th, 2023, as they celebrate this historic transition. Now, the block party is a vision of Senior Pastor-elect Dr. Mike, whose focus, he says, is to bring the community together and touch people's lives where and wherever, when and wherever they are.
The Friday, we're going to have what is called a block party. He's a young pastor.
Yes.
And of course, there's going to be some of that, a whole lot of that, a lot of energy. And on that Friday evening, we start at 6:30. The entire territory, literally, is invited to come. We're going to have food. We're going to have games, bouncy rides for the kids, and a whole lot of things. This is upon the request of the senior pastor-elect. He wants to make sure that he touches the community, that the community understands that ministry is nothing without you. We're here for you. We're here to work together. And so rather than being in closed doors, we're going to be outside in the church's yard. So as many people that can fit in the yard, you come on down.
Senior pastor explained that on Saturday, March 25th, that is a preparatory day for the church. Sunday morning service on March 26th begins at 9:30 p.m. instead of 10:30. Persons attending the installation service are to be seated by 3:45 p.m. for an on-time start.
But Sunday is the big day, and we begin that day with our Sunday morning worship. We need people to know now that service on that particular Sunday, the 26th, begins at 9:30 instead of a regular 10:30. So if you come at 10:30, you would have missed quite a bit. So please mark it on your calendar. And then after that, we gear up for the service itself, which begins at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're asking people to be seated. Please be seated by 3:45. So being on time means you're there for 3:45 to be seated.
Indeed.
And after that, we just want folks to know that life continues, ministry continues, and we're here for the community.
As a backdrop to this transition occasion, the transition from Senior Pastor Reverend Melvin A. Turnbull to Senior Pastor-elect has been taking place for some 7 years prior. On Sunday, July 18th, 2022, Senior Pastor Reverend announced the transition of leadership of the King Garden Bay Baptist Church to the congregation in the sanctuary and those worshiping online. Following his announcement, the Board of Directors unanimously approved the transition in their meeting on October 19th. Then on October 29th, the ordained ministers of the King Garden Bay Baptist Church again unanimously approved the board's decision for transition, which will start in, again, a few weeks following the installation. However, the transition became official after members of the church themselves unanimously agreed and accepted the transition proposal in their meeting on November 2nd, 2022. The church also offers a number of services through their social projects.
The pantry, the services at the church, I think is such a blessing to so many. I mean, when you're able to touch a life, meet a life one way and leave it a different way, that's a blessing. And so we do pantries, we try to do them at least once a month.
Okay.
We do the food packages, and we just started a thrift shop where we do like clothes for free. If anybody is in need of clothes, they come in
And that is all the time we have. I'm Ron Grant, and I will see you again tomorrow. Have a beautiful and enjoyable rest of the day. Goodbye. You've been watching 284 News.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast